Good morning. So Alan and I went to the fair yesterday, and I just want to kind of go over some of the things I noticed. Uh, when I was growing up, we lived very close to the fairgrounds. In fact, it was like a 10-minute walk. We went to the fair every day when we were growing up. We would do odd jobs for a while before the fair came to town, and we'd earn money so that we could go to the fair. And we weren't so much as we got older into the rides and that kind of stuff, but we loved meeting our friends there and walking around and people watch, and it was just a great fun. But it was pretty inexpensive to go when I was growing up. But now, as a senior, the admission is $12 for people over the age of 65. And that's just the beginning as far as the cost related to going to the Iowa State Fair, which incidentally is the fifth largest fair in the United States. It's the Iowa State Fair, and it's a big deal. It's huge. So anyway, once you get into the fair, I want to share some of the costs with you and some other information, but there are 200 vendors stands for food and drink and products. There's also an area in our fair for camping. And some of the people that have come to the fair to camp have been coming 20, 30, 40, 50 years. There's 3,000 campers during the 10 days that the fair is here. So it's like a small city. It really is. And they have a tram that will pick you up, take you around so that you can get to your campers and that type of thing. So to begin with, there's 3,000 people that live in the campground for 10 days. And it's a family tradition. And it's really something to see the way they get all set up and celebrate being there. So when you're in the fair, there are 3,000 campers. There's also 200 vendors for food and clothing and drinks and that type of thing. There are 4 stages. There's the grandstand, there's the Bill Riley stand, which is mostly local talent shows and that type of thing. And then there's, on the top of the hill, we have a stage for just a lot of things. That's usually where they do the news, and they have different contests and that kind of thing. And they have live entertainment groups that come in and entertain. And not the grandstand quality necessarily, but just local talent for the most part. And what I want to talk about today is the cost. In addition to the $12 to get into the fair, if you were someone that drinks, you're going to pay $12 for a beer, just a regular bottle of beer. So if you get something to drink, and if you get a soda or something like that, it's probably going to just be $6 for a glass of soda. Now the food, that's something else. The cost of the food is very high. I noticed that when we were there, a friend of ours had told me to try the lobster rolls. And so we went by there. Well, guess what? A 6-inch lobster roll was $39. $39. Holy cow. I'm not spending $31 for a 6-inch sandwich. Now, if you want a tenderloin, which in Iowa they have really good tenderloins, it's going to be about $11 or $12. And my favorite, my go-to, has always been the corn dog. And they have the regular size for $7, but if you get the foot long, it's $11. Now, in our grandstand, we attract a lot of big name entertainers, and I was looking to see what the average cost is, and the average cost of a concert ticket is $75. Now, some of them might be less, some could be more, it could go up to $110 if you're looking at some of the big names to come. So I'm thinking, and Alan and I went, we did not go to the grandstand, but we went to see a really good show on top of the hill. It started at 8 o'clock, and it was a hard rock band. And I thought it was so funny being 76 and I'm at a show like that. But it was so entertaining, and it didn't cost a penny. You just there was a huge audience. There were probably 2,000 people there, at least. And they are a well-known group called Slaughter, which I'd never heard before. But when I mentioned it to other friends, they told me what a big deal it was. But it wasn't the music I enjoyed, but being outside in the evening, and they just put on a fantastic show. But that was free. So Alan and I got into the fair, and we normally don't get alcohol. They have a thing where if you have your own cup, then you can get refills for $4. So that was pretty economical. And we each had a couple of drinks. And then we just had a sandwich. And the sandwich was $11 for each of us. And then there was a new item at the fair, the Iowa State Fair today, that was handmade apple pie, the fried pies, like Hostess or some of the other brands you have. It's a fried pie, but it came with 2 scoops of vanilla and cinnamon ice cream. So we decided to try it. So that was $14. That was considered the ultimate. It was $14. And then later on, we had a slice of pizza. So when you add all that up, I asked AI specifically about the Iowa State Fair, and they said the average person pays around $130 during a day at the fair. That's including if they take in the grandstand. But even when you think about the expense of having a sandwich, like a lobster roll for $31, not going to happen. I can have a really good steak for $31. Just everything has just gotten so expensive. And I think about the young parents that are taking their family, and I cannot even imagine what that would cost. Say you have 2 or 3 kids and you want to use the Midway, and you can get passes at the Midway per child for $30. So there's $60 if the kids want to go and ride all the rides. And then you have the admission and then the food, and goodness gracious, I could see easily where a family might spend $300 for a day at the fair. So it's not just that we're paying more money for gas. It's not just that we're paying more for groceries, clothes, food. It doesn't matter. Everything we buy now costs a lot of money. And if you're a senior and on a fixed income and have to worry about paying for your medication and different things that you need to be comfortable, it's a lot. And especially people on fixed incomes, it's a lot. And I feel bad about that. And I think we could do better. I think that there's ways that the people that represent us in the government can do something to help people out more. As it stands right now, they seem to be taking away a lot more benefits than they're giving right now. But that could change, or it could get worse. I hate to think it might get worse. But anyway, now, if you want to have a date with your husband or your boyfriend, you just need to have a lot of money to do that. So you might think about more entertaining at home, inviting friends over to play cards or to have dinner. And that would be inexpensive, you know. And instead of going to the theater where you could pay $20 or $30 just for popcorn, you might think about renting on Netflix a new movie that's come out for $3 or $4. So you'll find ways that you can save money if you really put your mind to it. But I just thought it was a good conversation to have as far as our going to the fair and just the exorbitant cost of doing something like that. So we only do it once a year. So, it's manageable financially, but it just kind of hurts my heart that everything is so expensive. So anyway, if you are anywhere close to Iowa, you might think about scheduling a time when the fair is here, because it really is a wonderful fair. Now, I've talked a lot about different subjects: my weight loss and my diet, my exercise, the fact that, I'm putting new hair on. Every day is a new day for me in my 70s, and I'm having a ball. If you would like to share with me what you're doing in your 70s, how you're having your best life, I would like that. But if you would like to hear more from me about my adventures, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and subscribe to my channel, because you never know what I'm going to do day to day. And sometimes it's hilarious, and sometimes I just have to be honest with what's going on and the challenges I have in my 70s. So for today, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Take care.